And as Egypt celebrates the resignation of Mubarak, some in the intelligence community are very worried about terror groups taking advantage of the delicate political climate. Joining us now is Republican Congressman Nunes and also Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. Both are members of the House Intelligence Committee. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
All right, Congressman Schiff, let me start with you. There's been some debate and conversation this week about the Muslim Brotherhood, exactly who they are and what they represent. What's your take?
Well, I think we're right to be concerned about the Muslim Brotherhood. It's not just an issue of what they are now and how much influence they have in Egypt now, but rather how much influence they could have in the future. But we shouldn't let that concern blind us to the very positive nature of what's happened here. We have potentially a earth-shaking event going on in Egypt that could have very profound positive repercussions throughout the Arab world in creating more opportunity for people, more representative forms of government, systems of government consistent with our own ideals. And I don't think we should let that concern about the Muslim Brotherhood discourage us from supporting the Egyptian people and their aspirations and those of others throughout the Arab world. But obviously, we're going to want to encourage Egypt in our relationship with its military to make sure that it's a secular form of government, that anyone who participates in that government is respectful of the rights of the people to determine their own fate and not replace one authoritarian regime with another, whether it's theocratic or otherwise.
And it is their government to decide and where they go from here with a constitution, with elections, those kinds of things. But Congressman Nunes, how do we engage without overstepping our boundaries when we do have concerns about certain groups that may want to place at the table?
It's quite difficult. And if you look at the history of Egypt, a lot of folks have to put this in perspective, that there's been really 60 years of military control in this country. And so, you know, a lot of folks, I think, on the ground, just in that early report on there, you saw one of the young people say that they didn't believe that they were, you know, not out of control. And in fact, the military is in control. And so as they begin to draft a new constitution, we have to, as American and our diplomats go, we have to try to help where we can. But my biggest concern moving forward is this, that you have 60 years of military control. My assumption is that most of the folks that are in the military actually control the major parts of the economy. And without economic freedom, without allowing the entrepreneurial spirit to be released, you know, with the Egyptian people to go out there and create their own democracy and create their own economy, it's going to be tough to get a real democracy flourishing in that region.
And I quickly want to ask you both the same question. How do you feel the administration is doing, has done so far? Where do they go moving forward? Congressman Schiff, I'll start with you.
You know, I think they've done pretty good. I was urging them for the last couple of weeks to be more forward-leaning, to be more encouraging of President Mubarak's exit. I don't think we want to be on the wrong side of history here, and this was kind of a moment of truth for the Egyptians as well as for us. All that being said, I think that they have a pivotal role to play. The Egyptians will determine their fate, but we have a strong relationship with the Egyptian military, and I think the administration can play a positive role in keeping the Egyptian military's feet to the fire, making sure they move forward with democratic transition, that they don't try to cling to power, that they, in the very near term, broaden the group of experts that are working on constitutional reform, that are working on establishing the process for elections going forward. So we have an important role to play. I think they'll play that role well, but I wish they had been a little more forward-leaning over the last couple of weeks.
And Congressman Nunes, final word to you quickly.
At the beginning, I think they botched it a little bit, the Obama administration, but then they got their feet on the ground and their sea legs, so to speak. I think the important thing to watch is, as we move forward in Egypt, as this democracy moves forward, we're going to have to watch closely what happens in Jordan, what happens in Iran, and I hope that the administration doesn't botch it like they did a year and a half ago when you had the Green Revolution in Iran, where you had people who were killed and murdered in the street, and the Obama administration said nothing. That would be disastrous for us.
All right. Thank you both for giving us part of your weekend and coming in today. Good to see you.